Tell me more about the research you'll be doing in Japan.
It's for a British company, actually. They want me to do a series of neo-trad Japanese designs for one of their standby lines. God, I'm probably doing it for free, but at least I'm getting the trip out of it.
Well, it all sounds pretty exciting to me. Better than being stuck behind a desk at Wentworth.
Go on, Anne. You wouldn't swap that job for anything in the world.
Well, there are times I'm not so sure. Still, I suppose I have my successes from time to time. Would you like to see over the place?
Oh, we'll have to see. I'm not here for long, and there's a lot of old friends to catch up with. Becky Willis, the Craig Wilsons, and of course Jenny.
Jenny Hartley? What's she doing now?
Oh, she's still studying music. I've had letters from her, but I'm afraid I've been a bit slack replying.
What about old Mrs. Hartley? She's still alive?
Is she ever?
Look, if you'd like to have your friends over here for a party, we could arrange.
We'll have to
something
see what
next
pans out.
What about boyfriends? Anyone special yet?
Well, yeah, there is someone. It's pretty serious, but I doubt if you'll approve.
Why shouldn't I?
Well, for a start, he's older than I am.
Well, there's nothing very terrible about that.
He's also married with 3 kids. He still lives with them, but we see each other every day.
Pippa, how could you? I really thought you'd have more sense than that. Are you serious?
Yes, and I'm well and truly old enough not to listen to advice I don't want. In the interest of keeping this trip a pleasant one for both of us, let's just stay off the subject, okay? Oh, Anne, you've got a telegram.
Oh, I must have missed it on the way in. It's addressed to you.
Yeah. It's from Simon. He really misses me. Love you too, darling. Great.
Pippa, you can't seriously mean to go on with this.
And why not?
He's a married man with children, for goodness sake. Have you thought how they must be feeling? Abandoned at the drop of a hat like that? What about you? He could turn around and do exactly the same to you.
Look, I know what you're saying. But his marriage was on the rocks long
That's
before
what he told you,
All
is
right.
it?
Ask him when he arrives. And I always thought of you as progressive. What a letdown. You're as narrow-minded as Mrs. Hartley.
I'm sorry, Pippa. I'd rather be narrow-minded, as you call it, and display the sort of standards you obviously live by. You're my daughter, and I love you. But I certainly don't like what you've become.
Besides, I've got to clean my room. Simon isn't used to living in a pigsty.
Just a minute. Did I hear right?
Hear what?
Your friend Simon, you don't think he's going to stay in your room?
Where else is he going to stay? Come on, Anne, stop worrying. You'll love him.
I'm sorry, Pippa, I don't like it.
Oh, you're not serious. Simon and I have been sleeping together for 2 years.
Not in my house, you haven't.
All right. Wally, you never slept with him?
It's not the same thing.
Oh, I see. Do as I say, not as I do. Is that it? Don't pull this act on me, Mum.
And don't you look at me as though I'm something out of a time warp, Philippa.
You don't think you're being old-fashioned?
Wally didn't happen to be a married man with 3 children. People are going to be hurt, Pippa, and I will not be a party to that.
Seriously, Pip, I think we should get this luggage out of the way before someone falls over it.
Well, they can stay in my room, but not you, unfortunately.
Sorry?
My quaint old-fashioned mother has gone all coy on me. She's got the jitters we might have it off under her roof.
Heavens, girl, where do you pick up this slang?
From my other lovers, of course. I'll say I'm sorry. I've been wanting you ever since I got your cable.
Well, she does have the right to make the rules. It is her house. Besides, parents see things differently. I know how I'd feel if Carolyn... Nice place. Sort of homey.
Don't change the subject. Anyway, Caroline is 5 years younger than me. And you're certainly not my father.
Well, I'm not hers either. Not anymore.
What do you mean?
Well, you always said I was gutless.
Rubbish. You said you were gutless. I think you're King Arthur, Mahatma Gandhi, and Bruce Springsteen all rolled into one.
Thank you. I think. It was worth it anyway. We're going to have a wonderful life together.
Simon, stop talking in circles. What are you saying?
I've done it, Pip. I've told Margaret all about this. We've decided to break so that you and I can have a life together.
No, I don't believe you.
I've taken a lecturing job at Bengala and I'm not going back. Now, how about some lunch? I'm starving.
Excuse me, please, Simon.
Just stop for 1 minute. Now, what's all this rushing about for?
I just thought we'd have an early dinner. You must be very tired.
Have I complained? If anyone looks exhausted, it's you.
I'm all right.
Really?
I just feel awkward us being together in Mum's house, that's all.
Pip, when I first told you I was coming out here, you seemed so pleased. What's happened?
Nothing, don't be silly.
I don't want to go on about the past because I've made my decision, but leaving my family wasn't exactly easy.
I understand that. Simon, I just never expected... Well, you could have talked to me about it first.
I thought that last week in London made things clear enough. We both knew what we wanted.
Anne, hi. This is, Simon, as you may have guessed.
Hello, Simon.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Reynolds.
I think we can dispense with the formalities, don't you, Anne?
Yes, call me Anne by all means.
Thank you.
Care for a drink? Scotch?
Yes, please.
Great, I'll grab the ice. You two get to know one another.
It's helped me understand things a little better.
Oh, I didn't realize the time, though. Perhaps I should call a taxi.
Yes, you must be very tired.
Well, no, there's no need for a taxi. Pippa can drop you off in my car. Another coffee?
No, I'd love some, but let me get it.
What's going on?
God, I felt like a child sitting there with you two talking
You
about
haven't
me.
exactly been making an effort.
Sorry.
You're acting as though you want nothing to do with him. The man's just left his wife and children for you.
I never asked him to do it, did I?
Afraid I'm a bit early. You know how it is, strange city. I haven't quite got the knack of how much travelling time to allow yet.
That's all right.
Hello.
Hello, Simon. I hope you'll excuse me. I've got things happening in the kitchen.
Oh, righto.
Simon, sit down.
I guess where I went this afternoon after the park. The Tourist Bureau. Do you believe they've actually got brochures on Bengala? I thought you might like to see our future home.
Not now, we have to talk.
No, I thought we'd agreed on all that.
No. Simon, I have been trying to think of a way of saying this that won't hurt, but there isn't one. I'm not ready to get married yet, or settle down in Bengala or anywhere else. I'm not even going to be in Australia for more than a couple of weeks. I'm taking that job in Japan, and after that I'm going back to England.
What?
I'm sorry. I never wanted things to get this serious. I thought all we were doing was having a good time.
Good time.
Yes. You never said you wanted anything else.
I said it in 100 different ways, Pippa. Obviously you weren't listening.
What was I supposed to be listening for? Si, I don't understand how this has happened.
No, you don't understand, do you? It never occurred to you how important you were to me because I wasn't important to you.
You are important to me, Simon. But I can't make one person my whole life.
And what about my life?
I know. I'm very sorry. I never expected you to.
Expected me to leave my wife and children and come halfway around the world just to be with you? Well, why didn't you expect it? What about all those times you wished we could be together properly? What was that supposed to mean?
I'm sorry.
And stop saying you're sorry. You don't even know what you've done. How can you be sorry? I guess I'm just a stupid old man who wanted you so badly I wouldn't even let myself see you for what you really are. A spoiled, self-centered brat. I just hope for your next lover's sake that you're more honest with him, so he doesn't have to suffer what you've put me through. Goodbye.
Well, it wasn't until I got to Japan that I realized just how much I loved you. And what a rotten little rat I'd been.
Hey.
No, Anne, let me say it. What I did to Simon was terrible, and I'm sorry. And I love you.
Subject closed. My problem is I can't get used to my little girl being involved with married men, I suppose.
Oh, this one isn't married.
Beg your pardon?
Kenzai. He hardly speaks a word of English. But, well, who needs it?
Pippa?
I've picked up a tiny bit of Japanese.
Pippa?
Honestly, the Japanese must be the greatest lovers in the world.
Where is he? You did leave him in Japan, didn't you? I don't believe this.
Come in, come in. Arigato, arigato. Kenzai? Anne. Anne? Kenzai.
Konnichiwa. How do you do?
Isn't he beautiful? He's got scads and money, too.
Oh, Kenzai, you must think we were awfully rude.
Forget it, mater. He can't understand English. But it's amazing what you can say in sign language.
Did you enjoy this morning?
Well, let's say I enjoyed this afternoon more. They're all there.
Heavens, I didn't think $200 would buy so much these days.
Oh, it doesn't. I had to go over a bit.
So how much did it all come to then?
$502.97. I put the balance on your account. I hope you don't mind.
This is your instructor for today's class, Pippa Reynolds.
Thanks, Terry. Well, thank you all for coming. It's encouraging to see so many.
Crossing the tracks, did you?
Yeah, I once knew a governor called Reynolds. You may as well know Mrs. Reynolds is my mother.
She certainly has breeding.
Hey, where'd you get your fancy clobber? Timbuktu.
London, actually.
Come on, let's keep it
I
down.
can handle things on my own, please. Please be quiet! Hello, Jenny. Glad to see you're able to come along.
Daphne's so vulnerable. She's attached to the idea of you being the one to defend her, and to chop and change at this stage.
Oh, I don't know.
it's,
Daphne's responsive to sincere people. I think she'd rather have someone with real commitment to take a case. Someone who wouldn't just walk out on her the minute something better came along.
As I told Anne, she'll be represented by the best in the business.
Someone with a few principles, even.
Pippa, that's enough. Excuse me.
You do know what principles are, don't you, Ben? You know those things people believe in and stand up for? With your sense of commitment, you ought to be a terrific success on the bench.
Must be wonderful to be so perfect. You must tell me one day what the secret is, or does it just come naturally?
You patronizing
You
chauvinist.
get a great kick out of giving it, but you don't like taking it, do you? It's about time you grew up.
Is that grown up enough for you, Ben?
Nothing like equality, is there? 15 all.
What do you think you're doing?
Well, not exactly.
I'll teach you!
Come on, stop
Quite right, Flynn. Another inch, and you would have all been on a charge of defacing an officer's uniform. As it is, unnecessary disturbance will have to do.
There's no need for that, Miss Ferguson. I was just showing them the Jackson Pollock method of screen print design, very big in London this year.
I'm sure it is. Suppose that's an example you're wearing.
Matter of fact, yes. Could fetch $80 in the right boutique. Of course, if you'd like to query it with the governor.
Yeah, we both know that wouldn't do much good, don't we, Miss Reynolds? Make sure they clean this mess up before they leave.
Oh, it will be, won't it, ladies?
Yes. Hey, that was real good, kiddo.
Yeah, saved us all from being on a charge.
Hey, 3 cheers for our art teacher. Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hooray! Hooray!
Good one.
Pippa, why tonight of all nights? I'm sorry, mate, it's not your fault. It's not the first time she's done this.
Ben, what are you talking about?
I don't mind her going out with other men. It's just that, well, you see, little Benji's sick, and I haven't been able to feed Lois or David yet. I've done my best, but they keep crying out for their mummy.
I had no idea. I only met her the
Ben,
other
if
day.
this is your idea of a joke, it's not very funny.
Please, Mrs. Fulbright, we don't want any more scenes. I gave you fair warning last week.
Last week? Pippa, what on earth's going on?
I think I'm beginning to realize.
Please, would you and your husband continue this conversation outside? I'm afraid you're disturbing the guests.
Well, let's do as the man says, darling. I tried to keep away. I just couldn't, you see. It's the kids. We miss you. We all do. I'll do my best to make it work. I promise, darling.
My goodness, are you all right?
I think so.
Hello, Pip. Can you make it quick? I have to... What? What did you say?
They tried to run me down, Mummy. There was a car out there waiting for me.
Are you sure? I mean, it couldn't have been an accident.
It was no accident. Yes, I'm all right. I'm just a bit shaky, that's all.
I'll come home.
No, don't be silly. And please, don't worry. I've called the police and they're on their way. And I told them about your windscreen. They probably want to talk to you.
Are you sure you're all right?
Quite sure. Stop worrying, Anne.
Just take care of yourself.
What the hell is this lot?
Oh, hello. I was just making some samples for my class.
And who gave you permission to use the staff room?
Where else can I go? The library's in use during the day.
I don't give a damn where you go. This room is for the use of officers and official staff, and that does not include you.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I consider my wrist duly slapped.
Get this cleaned up.
I wasn't going to leave it like this.
Now.
No, when I've finished.
Miss Reynolds, I do not care if you are the governor's daughter. I will not have you using officers' facilities as if you own the place.
The other officers don't mind. They realise the value of these classes, but you wouldn't, of
Of
course.
course not, when you let them run riot.
I wondered when you'd bring that one up.
If you think that I'm going to allow you to erode what little discipline we have in this place, you are much mistaken.
Are you going to do something about it, are you?
I most certainly am.
Well then, I'll have to take my chances like everyone else.
Pippa?
Yeah?
Do you design dresses as well as materials and stuff?
Yeah?
Do you think you could design something special for me?
What's that?
A wedding dress.
A wedding dress?
Yeah.
Daphne, I didn't know you were engaged. He's a lucky man. I hope he's rich.
Yeah, he's that, and he's real smart, and he's really good looking.
Yeah? I hope he's got a twin.
Hey, Daph, come on, we're waiting for Pip to start the lesson.
Oh, sorry. Tell me later, hey?
Well, actually, it's my lawyer, Ben Fulbright. He's really wonderful.
Yes, I'm sure he is. What the hell do you think you're doing leading a kid like Daphne up the garden path?
I thought I was trying to lead her out of prison.
Oh, God, Ben, you really take the cake. Do you know that?
Yeah, just a minute,
Did you
please.
even stop to think what it will do to her when you drop a cold? I mean, that's what bastards like you do, isn't it? Well, isn't it? Don't ignore me.
You do take ice, don't you?
I don't believe this. Nothing.
I thought things were going well between you two.
So did I. That's what's wrong. And for the first time ever, I've really fallen for someone. And Ben, as far as he's concerned, I'm nothing more than a casual. Someone to take out when he feels like it.
Look, don't worry about it. It'll all work out.
Oh, it won't. You only seem to see me when it suits you.
I thought that's what you wanted, that it suited your free and easy lifestyle.
I just don't see much future in it, in us.
Well, you certainly changed your tune.
Unless it's going to develop into something more, I think we should forget the whole thing.
Perhaps you're right. Still, it was good while it lasted.
I'm flying back to London on the first flight I can get.
Pippa's going back to London. She's determined to take the first plane she can get.
Why, for God's sake?
Oh, Ben, don't be ridiculous. She thinks you don't care about her. I should never have gone along with this plan of yours.
I've explained all that. If I tell her the truth now, then she's only
You may
going...
not have the chance. Why on earth did you have to play games? Why couldn't you have just told her that you loved her and wanted to marry her in the first place?
Look, I'll be over in the morning to sort it all out. Everything will be all right, I promise, even if I have to grovel.
All right, I just hope you know what you're doing this time.
I'll be gone somewhere he won't be able to find me. Not that he'd even want to. Please give Ben my letter and tell him it's the last he'll ever hear from me. I'm sorry it has to end like this. Pip.
Oh, Pip, you silly little fool. Pip, thank God you're all right.
I'm fine, really. What would you like? Cuppa? Or a good stiff drink?
Where were you? We were so worried about you. I really should blow my stack at you.
I would have thought that was my prerogative after your little performance, wouldn't you?
What performance?
I heard you on the phone last night. That's why I cleared out.
Pip, let me explain.
Explain what? That you were playing a game with Ben, that you were treating me like a silly little child who wasn't capable of making up her own mind? Mum, how could you?
I know it was very wrong of me. It's just that I thought Ben was right for you. I still do. forgive me?
Of course I do. That's why I came back. I knew how worried you'd be. Where were you staying? You phoned everywhere. Your little daughter's more independent and resourceful than you might think.
I must phone Ben.
No, call him. Don't say I'm here. Just get him over.
I love her, Anne. I want to marry her.
Mind putting that in writing?
Pip, you're okay. You set this up?
Mm-hmm. How does it feel to be on the receiving end for a change?
She knows everything, Ben.
I was right. You are spoiled. And what you really need in life...
Nonsense, darling. You're madly in love with me. Remember, I've got a witness.
Oh, you... What?
Well, it's about time.
I warn you, I believe in long engagements.
Yes, so do I. I think 6 weeks would be just perfect.
No, it won't be.
You'll love Roddy. We can stay with him and his boyfriend until we find a place of our own.
Now, let me get this straight. You've already told them you'll take the job, right?
Yeah, as good as. Well, Ben, I can tell you're not sure about it, but it's only for 3 months. It'd be lovely to have a wedding in London. I've got so many people I want you to meet.
Pippa, I just can't up and leave my practice for 3 months. You know that.
I knew you wouldn't buy it. Okay, here's plan B. We get married just quickly in a registry office, then we go to London. You stay for a month, for a holiday, and then come back. And while I'm finishing my job, you look for a house for us. I mean, Ben, I love your flat, but I really would love a garden.
You're putting me on. Trying me out.
Of course I'm not.
Look, I've got a lot of preparations to make for this afternoon sitting. Now, make up your mind, either the wedding or the job. As far as I'm concerned, you can't have both.
Ben, you're being totally unreasonable.
These look good. What are they? Designs for Oriental wallpaper?
Don't be so facetious. They're for my wedding dress, and you shouldn't be looking at it.
You're not serious.
Of course I am.
Pippa, you can't get married dressed like a bloody geisha.
Ben, it is my wedding. I will get married in the nude if I choose.
Fine, fine, but a Japanese outfit.
Well, what else would you wear to a Shinto wedding? Ben, you're not listening. All you do is dictate to me, and I've had enough.
Pippa, it is my wedding too, and you expect me to front up in a full-length kimono with a fan? Oh, for God's sake, be reasonable. I look like a refugee from a drag show.
You fell in love with me because I'm an individual. Now you are trying to change me.
I am not trying to change you. I'm simply trying to get you to grow up.
I am very serious. The frame of mind they're in, God knows what they might do.
That is ridiculous. I'm just the art teacher
You
from
are
outside.
also my daughter.
Don't you think you're just being a little bit melodramatic?
Pippa, you've got to understand
I am
this, woman.
taking the class, okay? God, Anne, they don't get much. Please don't take that away from them, too. Something a little bit more constructive.
Who, me?
Yeah, you're boring me to death.
And you're boring me to death with all your smart aleck comments.
Oh, tough.
And you can put that out too, Kelly. You shouldn't be smoking me this stuff.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Get out!
Temper. Give it a rest, Kelly. You reckon I can fix it for you, Dad?
Thanks.
Bit of a shake and help. Jesus.
Oh, look what
You did that on purpose. You're as bad as Kelly.
Hang on a minute.
Shut up! You lot don't
It was an
appreciate it.
accident.
Oh, you want me to believe that, do you? You bikies are nothing but vandals and hooligans.
Shut it,
You
lady.
see something beautiful and you've got to destroy it. You're animals. Shit!
Shut your noise, you'll all be able to charge.
You met your macho.
10 minutes to clean this mess up.
This is about all we can do at the moment, I'm afraid.
Thank you. Rev Green's really going to worry about our chances when he sees this.
Oh, let him worry. And from what Anne told me about the mood of the women, it's a wonder you came out of there in one piece.
I'm sorry, Anne. I should have listened. Thank God you put Joan and Pat outside.
Ben's right, you were very lucky.
Yeah, well, don't take it out on Connors. It was Kelly who got me riled. Really just got in the way when I finally exploded. How does it look?
Terrible.
Oh, thank you.
For God's sake, stop treating this whole thing as a joke.
Philippa Ann Reynolds, will you have this man to be your lawfully wedded husband, to pledge your troth to him in all love and honor, in all duty and service, in all faith and tenderness, to live with him, to cherish him, according to the ordinance of God, in the holy bond of matrimony?
I will. Won't I, darling?
Bastards.
Silly. wedding, remember? Our wedding.
What do they think they're doing here?
They're not locals. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish.
Are you expecting something?
Hi, Anne. It's me.
Ben!
Hi.
Ben!
Oh, I'm sorry. I know it's only lunchtime in London, but I'm ready for bed. You don't mind, do you?
Of course not. You two must be exhausted.
I'll leave that, honey. I'll do that in a minute. You go to bed.
No, I'm not even going to argue with you.
Oh, that's a change.
Night-night.
Night-night.
Night.
Night.
That's to remind you I love you too.
As if I needed reminding. Marriage doesn't seem to have come between you two.
No, I still have to put him in his place every now and then.
I can imagine.
And it looks like I have to start on you now before I go back to London.
Pippa.
And it's okay. We all end up in a mess every now and then. Leave it to me. I'll fix everything. Night-night. Good morning.
I thought you'd be asleep for ages.
Ben's dead to the world. I've been up for a while.
Hungry?
No, I'll grab something a little later.
I need a cup of tea.
You spent the night with him, didn't you?
If you're referring to Dan, yes, I do.
And don't you realise you're making a complete fool of yourself? For God's sake, he's a bikie.
I see. It's all right for you to break up families and bring home Japanese businessmen, but if poor old mother doesn't fit the mold, it's a different story.
Of course not.
Then let me make my own mistakes, Pippa.
I was only trying to help.
Then I suggest you make the time to see past the leather jacket and the bike. Then you might see him for the sort of person he really is. That would help both of us.
Are you in love with him?
Yes, I think I am. And I'm not ashamed to admit it, and I am not going to make excuses for the way I feel to you or anyone else.